Hey everyone, this is Curtis Walker from GoHustlerGo.com, and I want to welcome you to our podcast. And in this podcast, I wanted to just let you know that this is our very first one. You are aboard our flagship first launch of what we're doing at GoHustlerGo.com. So if you've been checking out our website, or if you've stumbled across this podcast or YouTube video, you've probably seen the symbol of the lion. The symbol of the lion represents a lion on the hunt. Now, usually out in the Serengeti, I've actually had an opportunity to go and visit that. And when you're out there, there's an understanding when it comes to the circle of life and how things operate. There are predators and there are prey. And the one thing about a lion and the prey, every morning when they get up, the first thing they think about is running. They think about getting up, going after it. A lion, he's thinking about hunting. He knows that if he does not hunt for the day, it is over for him. And the prey, they know that if they don't get up and get moving in the day, they will be eaten and it'll be all over for them. So I know that this particular podcast was inspired and encouraged to me to get myself up and get moving and just get out there and start living life to its fullest. I know that at my particular age, I am 58 years old. Just recently turned that. And as I look back over my life, I spent a lot of work working in the automotive industry. I worked for a lot of the big companies. I worked in the banking industry. I did IT work. I even served 9 years in the U.S. Marine Corps. Now, of all the work that I've done, I know that there's some things that have been instilled with me when it came to work, dedication, drive, motivation, but there was always something just, I'm going to say at the back of my mind, or something always pulling or egging at me, saying that there's so much more out there. There's so much more that I could be doing beyond what I've been experiencing, and also beyond the lies that I've been told. But I also know when it comes to getting up, making those moves, I've always had that thing that I would always state. In this particular podcast, I wanted to talk to you about the thought or the concept of one day. I always kept telling myself, one day you're going to do this. One day, when life is right, I'm going to have that dream car. I'm going to have that dream house. I'm going to have that dream vacation. Or my kids would ask me things and, I would always respond with one day. Because I was also thinking from my, I'm going to say limited or lesser mind. And one day being said and being applied can stack to another one day. And then that can stack into another one day. And before you know it, 10, 20, 30 years goes clicking by. And then you find yourself in a position where you look back and you say, what did I do with all my life? What did I do with all the years of my life? What are the results I could have from the experience of what I went through? So I'm here to talk to you, not just today, but as we move this podcast forward, I wanted to lay down to you some of the groundwork of where I'm going and what I'm focusing on. So this podcast is centered around two particular topics or subject matters. First matter is personal development. Taking a good look at yourself and really asking yourself, are you getting the best out of life? Are you getting the maximum out of life that it could give to you or provide for you? Second of all, as probably the past few years, it's just been really just weighing on my mind about doing something in the online sector. I wanted to do some form of marketing, and so I had stumbled across a couple of different courses that I took, books that I've read, people I got to engage with, conferences I got to go through, and did a lot of work, did a lot of research, but I had to get to the point of doing a lot of application. So this podcast is a result of all of the actions that I personally have had to take. I had to get past my one-day mentality, my one-day expression, and I had to say, this is going to be day one. So that other segment that I'm going to be talking about as I move forward with my other podcast, it will be talking specifically about online marketing in the area of four different elements. One of them is affiliate marketing, where you are representing companies and their brands, and you are actually starting a business or operating a business from the ground up with minimal overhead and being able to promote other products that you know, that you like, that you love, without breaking your own personal bank, and you're getting paid with other people's money to promote their product. The second one is e-course and course development. There are things that people want to learn beyond traditional schools. There are things that I know. I went to college, I have degrees, and there are things I've learned in the military, things I've learned in the corporate world. And the most, I'm going to say, valuable lessons that I've experienced and grasped were things that I learned outside of college. Mostly everything I've learned when it comes to the work that I do, the people that I engage with, I've learned it outside the walls of college. And there are many people like you who are seeking ideas and answers. We spend our time looking at YouTube and a variety of social media platforms trying to learn things. I know there are times when I had to fix my car, and because I worked in the automotive industry, I've always felt like I had to be hands-on with working on my vehicle. And there's some things that I've learned from watching from the YouTube University, as well as just, putzing around trying to figure out this, that, and the other. Now, I've actually had some disasters taking place from doing the scrolling around from the online university. And that's going to be on some of my future podcasts, as well as some of the videos. So you can, while you're checking out the podcast, please check out some of the YouTube videos that I'm going to be posting so you can learn from my life lessons. But once again, there's affiliate marketing, there's course developments, whether you're doing ebooks or digital courses. Then there's the area where we're going to be talking about where you're going to be doing, I'm sorry, I'm getting tongue-tied here, but where you're going to be doing webinars and seminars online. It used to be where you had to hop in a plane, fly all over the globe, and be able to be in a conference with hundreds to thousands of people. Nowadays, you can sit right in the comfort of your own living room if you want, and be able to host a live event through webinars. So the game has changed, everyone. Today is prime opportunity. And so my goal is to coach people on how to take advantage of those technologies. I'm going to be talking about different products and services and tools that are out there through this podcast. So I want you to connect with me, and also beyond the affiliate marketing and beyond digital course development or ebooks and beyond webinars, the big thing is coaching, which I'm going to be doing somewhat through this podcast platform, but I also have a coaching program that I'm going to be offering through my website, GoHustlerGo.com. But more specifically for you, I just wanted to lay this out for you, is if you've caught yourself constantly saying, one day I'm going to do this, or one day I'm going to do that, I want you to really become deliberate about breaking that cycle and declare to yourself today, right now, that this is day one. Take some form of action, big or small, but it's about getting in the habit of doing something about what you've been thinking about so you can get results. I'm going to break down the whole modality and the mindset that goes along with that day one mentality so you can get results out of life. I've gone through, like I said, a lot of seminars and trainings and things that taught me to get out here and start taking action. So I'm putting myself out here for you, but I'm also putting myself out here for me. I know one of the things that kind of held me up from launching and starting this podcast is I was canceling myself out. I was worried about what other people were going to say, what other people were going to think about me, whether it came to how I looked, my age, or how I use the English language. When I'm speaking to you right now, I'm trying to stay away from doing it with the script. So that way I'm not reading through things and looking mechanical or anything else like that. I have an outline somewhat of what I'm going by, but I know one of my challenges were writing and reading, but I do love to communicate with people. So my friends, I'm out here talking to you. I'm sharing my heart, and I'm going through my growth process, and I'm sharing my growth process with you. Some of you can identify exactly where I'm at with where I'm at, and some of you want to make changes. Some of you want to break out of your shell. So I want you to go along this journey with me. So got a couple things I wanted to let you know about where we're going with this podcast. One, I'm going to be doing a podcast 3 times a week. That'll be Monday, Wednesday, and Friday when the release will happen. Next, I have a website. On that website, I have blogs that are written that you can read through. But to go even deeper, I've actually put together a newsletter. And this newsletter is called The Beast Hunt. So I know in me, I had to actually let my inner beast out. I had to hunt that beast down, but I had to let that inner beast out so that I can actually get out here and push and develop great digital products. But before I could actually get to that point, I had to look at myself and ask that question: what has me scared about getting out here and producing? And not just producing content for you, but producing so much more out of life. But I want you to ask yourself that question as well. Is there anything that functions as a brick wall, a roadblock, that is limiting you from getting out and producing or breaking out of your shell? I want you to take some time to really look at that. But as you go to GoHustlerGo.com, you're going to be reading blogs, and I want you to tap into the newsletter. Those are being offered for free. Now, the one thing I also had to learn during my whole journey and process of developing myself is out in the world of social media, there's a ton of free. There's a ton of free advice. There's a ton of scrolling that takes place day in and day out. So as you experience that, one of the things I had to learn for myself is that if I get into the position where I am challenged to pay for something to go to the next level with things, when I actually make the commitment to put that money down, I then push myself to make it work. Anytime I make any form of investment, especially when things have been financially challenging for me, and I know that if I have to make the sacrifice to invest in some sort of training or tool, I have to get my money's worth out of it. So you're getting this for free. But the one thing I really want you to think of and want you to apply is that everything I tell you, or matter of fact, anyone you listen to consistently, podcasts, a YouTube personality, whoever it might be, I want you to treat it as though you paid an arm and a leg for it. You paid some significant amount for it, because that way you then are putting yourself on the hook. You're laying it on the line to choose to put some action behind the expense that you paid to get that course, to get that program, to get that new idea, to get that new concept. So as you are listening to me for free, act as though you have paid for it and you have demands on me to deliver. I want to deliver for you, but more so, I want you to deliver for yourself. Because the other lesson I learned from various programs that I've invested in, the work always ended up on me. In order for those programs to work, in order for those ideas and concepts to be successful, it requires for me not only to just learn it or get that behind the scenes look at it, but I had to put it to use. So I'm challenging you. I'm pushing you. I'm almost demanding you to get yourself up, to get yourself out there and put what I'm talking about to work. So today we're talking about going from one day to day one. So make this your day one. Let's get into action about it. So with that, that concludes my first podcast. I am Curtis Walker. This is Go Hustler Go. Get over to GoHustlerGo.com. Check out some of the blogs that are out there. More importantly, sign up for the newsletter. Thank you for your time and have yourself one awesome